Hi, I'm happy to see you watching this webinar about website development. The reasons why we talk about that. A website plays an essential role in the business life of freelancer designers or design companies. Although today there are plenty of areas for presenting our works, Facebook, Instagram, Behance, Treball, yet one of the most critical points is to have a web page that reflects our image and what explains why we are the ones to trust with projects. Fortunately, when we have to create a web page, there are plenty of options available to us. So, in the following, we will discuss what points you should consider when thinking about creating a new website. WordPress, Wix, Webflow, Squarespace, Weebly, Shopify, and so on. Here we are with a few options that make it easy to create your website. What will you learn? Why we need a website for our business? What are the leading website types? How to develop a website? How to develop a web shop? So, start with this. Why we need a website of our business? A creative person has an important role to play on his own website. It's an important consideration in what form we do our work. If we are employees, we work on small projects and have no excessive career desire, then we don't need a website. However, if you want to move to a more severe level, building a career, and this is the goal, the website is necessary. We have to ask the question, what website should we have? What is the purpose of our website? Will it be a simple portfolio site or a more complex site where we collect leads? Do we want to write and publish content on a regular basis, such as content marketing? Do you think we are thinking of a page that we can teach others, such as online training? We have physical or digital products we want to sell in a web shop? If we are at the beginning of our career, then we certainly don't have too extensive references and materials to make a more complex page. It's a good idea to start with a stable foundation to build on later. Social media or company website we need. For a business, it is imperative to be in the focus of attention. In fact, if you don't get enough attention, you won't be able to acquire a sufficient number of customers, it won't work. It won't be profitable. In the long run, this leads to the bankruptcy of the business, and no one wants it. Today, a designer has a great deal of opportunity to publish his work. This is very good for social media. It should be used definitely, but it is rather important to consider them as a channel through which we can communicate with our potential target audience. These channels can be used to our advantage if properly used, but it is important that no dependent relationship should be developed. When only visitors come from a channel, if any changes are made within that channel, just remember the changes the Facebook algorithm and reduces our organic reach, then suddenly, overnight, our traffic gets dropped and we are in disadvantageous situation. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that we must be present on all channels. In order to be able to identify potential channel for us, we first need to carry out a market survey. We should obtain information where our target audience is and how they consume the content. It is important that these channels we have to communicate properly with the target audience. On LinkedIn, you will only post more serious, more detailed contents that is strongly linked to a project. This can be a detailed case study that demonstrates how we implemented a project step by step. On Instagram, we are just taking pictures of the finished project and placing the link in the bio in the case study. But this will be discussed more detailed in another webinar. It's better if you rule your channel. Your website is like your business card. This is yours. There is no one above you. It's up to you what you are doing to it. You don't depend on anyone or anything. Here you can really show what you are and what your products are. By contrast, everyone in your social media is your competitor through funny kitty videos, posters and ads from another companies. Even the site itself is your competitor, since YouTube, Instagram and Facebook also want the user to spend their time there and not on your site. They can make money from this, so they will do their utmost to keep users from leaving the site. And if you manage to steer these people to your site, then you can reach them with targeted ads. You can make them subscribe in your email list for free content, so you can communicate with them anytime later. Therefore, there are plenty of ways to keep in touch with people who are already on your site. How could we obtain a domain for our company, and why a specific domain is important? Your domain is important because it will be the gateway to your website. This will be your brand. This will be the entry through which your customers, business partners will reach you. In addition, if you own a domain, there are plenty of new opportunities for you. If you want to have your own website, you will need to have your own domain name. Domain name choice, however, is a heavier question. If you are a freelancer and you work alone, you might use your own name. If your product already has a brand name, it must be clearly the brand name, the domain name. However, it is also worth thinking about the talkative domain names. This means, for example, you sell your online ceramic training on your site. Your domain name may be How to Become the King of Ceramics. Or, if you have a drawing school, your domain can be How to Make Nice Drawing. You can rent or buy your domain at domain registers. You can buy a domain very easily and quickly if it is still available. How to register a domain? I have good news for you. It's not as complicated as it seems. You can get your own domains for a few moments. Nowadays, there are plenty of places to apply for a domain. A domain is very cheap, but in any case, better to choose a service provider who has been providing reliable services for many years on the market. Whichever you choose, you may want to find one of the following providers: GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator. You can go to any of the service providers and find out if the domain you want to buy is still free. All you have to do is going to your preferred service provider page and enter the name of the domain you want to buy in the search engine. If it's free and you are confident in your decision, nothing is left than to buy your own domain name. A .com domain is terribly easy to register. You can have your own domain in about 10 minutes. I recommend the above listed service providers because they provide different advanced settings for your domain, which may be necessary for the future. Whether do you need a web storage or not? It's a question. You need a place to host your own website if you want to run your website. For example, WordPress is one of them. There are plenty of hosting vendors today that can rent you storage place. Fortunately, WordPress is so widespread that most service providers are offering WordPress hosting packages to install and run WordPress. For GoDaddy, Bluehost or HostGator, your domain and storage space may be in one place, which is beneficial because you have access to all settings from one account and get everything in one place. Whatever you want to do with these providers, local support is doing a very good job and you can bet they will help you. You don't need storage if you choose Wix or Webflow, as these providers will provide you with your subscription. Although you can do so, you are subscribed to an email to Gmail for free, but I suggest you forget about it your business. Firstly, because it's untruthful if you want to communicate with a Gmail address in business. Serious companies will see that you have not paid any money nor attention to having your own email address by only using a free Gmail account for the business purpose. They won't take it seriously, and even though they may not say it to you, but believe they are considering behind you. On the other hand, you won't be able to make more serious settings on your email address because the free services are limited. Free emails have been created for private users who just and exclusively want an email for themselves. In case your business expands and you will have more colleagues, you cannot create a new email address in your account with free Gmail service, so everyone will use that one. Third, since you already have your company domain, why don't make your company email? How to make an email address to your company domain? The simplest things to use G Suite with Google Company. You have the advantage that you will receive 30 gigabytes of cloud storage space next to your email, and you can manage all your emails on a central admin interface. We believe that G Suite today is one of the best email services for business. G Suite is far more than just a simple email. It contains useful apps that will be incredibly good at the start of your business. For a user $5 per month, you get a service that almost resists a lifetime. Gmail is one of the most widely used email clients in the world, and not by accident. You have a reliable, transparent and super search engine. Within G Suite, you can create email aliases for yourself or your colleagues. It's easy to connect to your phone so that you can access your account anytime, anywhere. What website should we have? Before you start working on your company website, you need to clarify an essential thing with yourself. It's nothing but the type of website you have. The introductory page also comes from its name, which is like a simple introduction that can be done within a minute. It doesn't contain much information, just and exclusively the most important things to be mentioned and what you need to tell about the owner. The visitors can read the entire page in about 3 minutes. Often they are called one-page websites as they don't include any subpages. All information is located on one page, on the main page, and placed underneath each other in segregated sections. You can make such a page in a few hours and it is already working. Of course, if you have the proper and sufficient materials, text, pictures and videos. The portfolio page is bigger than the introductory page. Its goal to present the business activities and references comprehensively. Different subpages appear on the web page. A portfolio page usually contains the following pages: main page, portfolio page, about us page, contact page, blog if you provide content. The most important part of the portfolio page is the presentation of references. The goal here is to show the projects that we are proud of as best we can. It is important to mention that it's a good idea to create the pages at references as a case study. However, what does it mean? Many companies refer to a reference page for all the previous work that they have done so far, but they don't write anything about the project, and therefore the person who is on the page has no idea exactly what they did on that project. Business page. A business page is created with a specific purpose. A business page itself can include a portfolio page, but it also has essential additional features. Such sites are built in a marketing approach and their purpose is money production, which is available to us by various techniques. Different baits are created on the site so visitors can give their contact details. For example, download a catalog in return for an email address. There are many different ways to create such a lure, so-called lead magnet. Without the utmost attention, you will find some. Download PDFs such as catalog. A case study available on a closed site such as how we produce our product, etc., etc. Multi-chapter teaching materials such as you can even do it at home. Blog feeder form to learn about valuable content. Questionnaires such like what high should your heel be? Such sites have two critical parts. A detailed description of the references is to convince the visitor of our expertise and to gain access to them. A potential customer might find it on our site through a blog article where we talked about current trends or changes in the profession. She doesn't want to buy from us yet, but she's aroused her interest because we are credible and have a beautiful site. She will see 1-2 references, then register for one case study that affects a similar area to her problem. Since we already know her email address and know what she is after, we can put this person in an email process that sends out similar materials to her as she inquired. So we can keep in touch and build trust. When purchasing our product becomes current, we are in her head and can easily contact us. On a business side, you can also sell various educational materials, products and services. These may be digital products and may be physical products as well. If you are talking about internet sales, most people are thinking of the web shop. However, a business site is not a web shop, as a web shop has an entirely different function. What is a web shop? We call the web shop pages where we can sort and buy many products. Typically, the web shop is a technical tool to bring more products into one order and buy them at once. It is a transparent and filterable, searchable interface that helps users browse and buy products easily. Suppose we are dealing with the design of unique furniture. We are a renowned designer, we regularly attend different exhibitions. If we already have several types of furniture that fit well together, like special chairs, you may want to think about creating a web shop for your products. A web shop engine can provide the flexibility to easily search, filter and sort between colors and types. And if you like something, you can find more products at the same time. A web shop also can have sales support or upselling tools. For example, you may offer other products at the end of the purchase that may interest the buyer, or an additional product that may be related to our main product. Typically, buying a web shop consists the following steps: select products, product shopping cart, shopping page where supplementary product could be placed, checkout place where users enter personal information, finalize, order and thank you page. In case you are a beginner in the web business, it's pointless to launch a web shop right away. Sales sites are more suitable for you. How a sales sites look like? The most important feature of sales pages that they are specifically designed to sell some of the products with the best possible results. Sales pages may exist separately, but we can also create different sales pages on our business site to sell a product or service. The most effective feature of such sites is the creation of a sales funnel. Their aim is to reach the maximum basket value from a single purchase. In general, you can't choose from multiple products at the same time on the site, but the focus is always on selling a product. Typically, there is no basket function as it is not necessary. Purchases are made immediately as the buyer enters her data and click on the order button. By placing order, however, you can offer a variety of complementary products next to the main product as an upselling. With this technique, you can maximize your basket value to increase your earnings from one order. Sales pages are typically built up as follows: sales page with data, upsell page, thank you page. As you can see, a sales page is much less than a web shop. It is, therefore, more effective in selling a single product or service. For this reason, we should use them in every way if we have a product that we can sell online. Knowing what's happening so far, we can imagine what kind of web page we need. It depends really on us and it is advisable to design our site so that it is always best fitted to our goals. We don't have to be scared if things change over time. If we are going to have only one portfolio page at the beginning, it's also a good idea, but we must certainly start conscious, planned marketing to build our own brand and increase our profile. In case we have more and more new products, then we will include them into our website. If it's just a product at the beginning, it's a perfect sales page. Moreover, if we have more than one product, or let's say there are products from which one can buy more at a time depending on the type, size, color and material, then we should also put a web shop next to it. Okay, I suppose you are curious how to build our first website. No, let's look at the possibilities. We have to create our own website. We have been talking about storage space and we are going to back here now. There are two options to choose from if you want your website. Alternatively, we will store and run our site on our storage server or select a service where this will be provided to us. Here are three options of such services are the most common today. WordPress. WordPress is the world's most popular website engine. It covers more than 30% of all web pages currently running, which is outstanding, and that's not a coincidence. WordPress is very easy to learn, to use and manage, but it also can build sophisticated web pages. Of course, in this case, there is a need for a higher conscience, but luckily there are plenty of free plugins available, so we can find out without having a developer. We can integrate with everything and have a massive selection of free and premium accessories. If we involve a developer's help, our opportunities will open to the infinite. WordPress has a vast user base that makes it easier to find a developer, making it faster and more cost-effective to implement our ideas. The WordPress engine must be installed on our server, but you don't have to worry about it. Most domain hosting providers have a feature that lets you know what to do with a click, and GoDaddy, Bluehost and HostGator are no exceptions. There are plenty of reviews on the internet about how to do this and don't last for 5 or 10 minutes. There are no shortage of templates for WordPress. You can choose from an impressive amount of free and premium templates. These templates are mostly thematic, which means that they are usually tied and not very modifiable to the base outlines. However, there are exceptions to this indeed. We suggest a premium template in every way. There are several reasons for this. On the one hand, these templates are constantly developed, and if any error occurs, they will repair that quickly. On the other hand, we are not threatened by the danger that something objectionable or viruses might be on our site. By experience, I would suggest you to choose a template that has visual page editing. What is a visual editor? WordPress is now available with visual editors, so we can change the look of our site as we see it and as we like it. You don't need to have an expertise, and you can quickly learn to handle them. The advantage of these templates is that we can literally shape our page to our liking, but they almost always contain web pages created by web designers, which can significantly accelerate our work. It means that we only select the surface that is sympathetic and we can change anything from it. There are currently 3 visual editors that provide the site with premium features and a super community built around them with the support that is brilliant and the documentation is incredibly detailed. These programs are DIVI, Elementor and Oxygen Builder. Additional functions. WordPress will compete with all of its competitors here. At present, you can choose from over 53,000 free add-ons and access over 10,000 premium add-ons to increase your WordPress capabilities to any level to create virtually any feature pages. E-commerce. WordPress e-commerce engine is WooCommerce, which makes it relatively easy to create a working online shop. Because this plugin is based on WordPress, we can change it virtually anyhow. We also don't miss a number of add-ons, as we can add a lot of features to our site here. The another web design solution is the Webflow. The Webflow was created specifically to those designers who don't want to deal with code or developers. They can create a nice, fully oneself created website. We can create spectacular, interactive pages in front of our eyes without any developer knowledge. Webflow also helps us to understand and learn how to use HTML and CSS codes, since while we visually build our site, we also have access to the background code, and when we make the settings, we see how CSS changes have been made to a particular item. Features are embedded to create completely unique animated pages. We won't be able to create such pages with WordPress visual designers or with Wix. From this point of view, it is completely unique. They approach the whole new side to the development of the web, and they manage to gain a substantial market. About hosting for Webflow, we don't have to deal with hosting because it is secured. This makes it easy to get started, as they provide great hosting services. As we think about templates, for Webflow we can choose from a variety of templates. It's a good number, but this program will be especially interesting if someone wants to create a completely unique website appear visually. Considering visual editors, we can prepare visually in real time our site using the Webflow. As we talk about additional functions, this is the area where the weakest point in Webflow. It has a few additional features that you could do it without a programmer developer. The e-commerce function is also beta and has little functionality for the moment. If you want to create a page with more complex or more significant functions, don't choose Webflow. E-commerce. Currently, beta is the function of e-commerce. Installations require much work. The third solution is Wix. Wix is now a top-rated website maker software. The most significant advantage is that it's terribly simple to start using it. We can start our page from a zero on an empty surface, but the specialty of Wix lies in its templates. There are plenty of quality templates that are broken into different areas. From them, we can easily choose what is a sympathetic one, and we can start to transform the page. Wix has additional features that are available for subscriptions. It has built-in e-commerce functionality or even create a timestamp page. For Wix, we don't need to be concerned with hosting services, as it is secured. However, there is no option for us to relocate our data. It is openly written in their knowledge base, and this means that if you decide to leave the page because it doesn't know the features you want, you will need to build the new page entirely from the beginning. Concerning templates, Wix has placed much emphasis on beautiful and easy to use templates. There are plenty of templates with a premium design that are just waiting to replace the content on them. As we talk about visual editor, it's easy to use, it's visual editor, and we can change the content of our site in real time so we can see the change immediately. From the design point of view, however, we are bound to build our template. This means we won't be able to modify the look of our site to suit our preferences, and once we have added the template next to it, we won't be able to drop new design elements or develop entirely new arrangement. Considering additional functions, if you have any function to see our website, we will have to look into the Wix app market. If lucky, find a solution there. At this time, we can choose from 288 such smaller apps. E-commerce. This feature is available in higher subscription packages, but here again, there is a lack of functionality. If you want a web shop page with bound options, it may fit to sell a product, but you won't have the same marketing freedom as in WordPress. I need a web shop, how to start it? If you think about a web shop specifically, I would suggest two choices. It is nothing but WooCommerce or Shopify. If you look at large business sites around the world, let's look at the main features. You can see that these two platforms are in close competition with the world's leading e-commerce provider, and both have their reasons. However, if you look at all the internet service providers, WooCommerce has the remarkable 40% share. It means that smaller companies prefer to use WooCommerce solutions, while large business operators often have their vote on the Shopify system. However, don't choose what the numbers show, but what functions you need. The question, is it easy to start a web shop? From this point of view, there is no doubt. Shopify takes away WooCommerce. If you need a web shop that can be set up immediately and you have everything you need to sell it online, then you should go with your Shopify. When you choose Shopify, there are very few things to do with Shopify. You should create a Shopify account, connect to your domain, select a template, and if you are also eligible for the Shopify payment transaction, that was all. What about WooCommerce? I assume that you already have a working WordPress page if you want to use WooCommerce, but if you don't, you will need to do the following. Install WordPress on your own server. Install template or visual page builder. Customize the template. Install the WooCommerce plugin on your site. You have to go through several settings such as taxation, payment, service provider, etc. And if you want additional functionality, you need to install plugins. Although it's becoming easier to launch a WooCommerce site, you still have the learning process. Fortunately, WordPress is great, so the WooCommerce community can easily find descriptions, but be sure to go through them. Please read the additional transcription of this webinar for further details. Of course, you have the opportunity to sell your own products with other websites. For more on this, we are talking about the social media webinar. There we will show you the essential third-party sites that support your sales, which you might be present. The purpose of this material was to watch, read and understand what website or web shop you need for your product. Now I kindly ask you to take a white paper and write down your thoughts that have come up in you watching this webinar. Then go back please to the section which introduces some of the web page types and consider why that particular model would be beneficial and disadvantageous for your business. After completing this, you will surely know what kind of website or web shop you need. Now only the implementation waits for you. Go on, good luck to that.